Leo Popco Studios in Oklahoma City. This is a Thunder Update brought to you by Bob Moore Ford. I'm Jenni Carlson. Anthony Slater joins us on the phone. He is on the road as he heads back from Denver. Yet another blowout victory for the Thunder, Anthony. Let's talk about just how well this team's playing right now. What is at the heart of this run that the team has put together?
Well, I mean, you're talking about they're probably playing the best, basketball maybe in the NBA right now, 15 wins in 16 games. And, I mean, not to sound too cliche, but, I mean, it truly is just kind of an entire team effort. Durant's, playing great like he always is. Westbrook's having kind of a historic 6-game run, averaging nearly a triple-double. The bench is basically outplaying the other team's bench every night, which is all you can really ask. I mean, they were going up against Denver last night, which had one of the best second units, and, I mean, they clearly outplayed them. So it's just kind of throughout the roster, just kind of an entire team effort. I mean, they're clicking right now, and they're still young, and, I mean, the future looks bright in the immediate future and, the big picture future.
Right. And as you talk about entire team effort, I mean, obviously the offensive side is what everybody sees in the highlights, but defensively, this team is really getting after it across the board on defense. What have you seen out of this Thunder defense that's impressed you?
It's just every night in these last 16 games, I mean, they're holding teams, regularly, like low 40s, even some 30% shooting, which, I mean, is probably that stat is maybe the biggest one when you look at defense. Is just, what you hold the other team percentage-wise. Then the points per possession, which is another stat. I think they're fourth in the league, which is really high, especially considering, you're going to put up points, like you just kind of mentioned with, the stars, Westbrook, Durant. You're going to put up points. But if they keep defending at this level, and I mean, the sky's the limit, really. This team's they're just so long and active. And Scott Brooks is, playing an 11-man rotation with just so much versatility, and it's just really coming together.
You mentioned earlier the bench play that the Thunder's getting, the fact that the bench is essentially outplaying the other team's bench every night. I think you start with Reggie Jackson when you talk about the bench play, but really it's deeper than that, as you mentioned, with an 11-man rotation, 6 guys coming off that bench. But Reggie seems to be sparking the whole thing. You're actually writing a little bit about him.
He's 6-man candidate. He may be the leading 6-man candidate. I've seen some national outlets putting that out there, which, is crazy considering, we come into the year talking about, well, this team, it may have lost Harden, it may have lost Martin, but, they don't need a 6-man. Well, they might have a 6-man. But as you mentioned, I mean, it's a through-the-roster type deal. Jeremy Lamb's, stepped in. He's been huge. He's shooting something like 55% this month. Steven Adams is just, he just brings an element that they didn't have last year. And they're playing. It's a team that's traditionally had a good bench, but I think this may be their best one.
Well, let's talk just lastly about what's to come. This team obviously not only playing well overall, but at home unbeaten. They've got some home games that are big time coming up, but they've also got some away games that are marquee, including Christmas Day. Look ahead for us a little bit and tell us what's on the horizon for this team.
Yeah, it's actually pretty intriguing kind of end to December. They're at San Antonio on Saturday, which, Tony Parker's kind of questionable with the shin injury, but I mean, that's going to be obviously a great matchup in a hostile environment. And then, as you mentioned, Christmas Day in Madison Square Garden. I know the Knicks aren't good this year, but that's still a big time stage. National TV. Middle of the day on Christmas, and then end of the month, you end it with Houston and then Portland at home. Those are two of the hottest teams besides the Thunder in basketball. So those are two nice tests. Two teams that may, try to break that undefeated streak for the Thunder at home.
Definitely will be interesting to see where the Thunder stands at the end of the month if they can keep this hot streak alive. Thanks, Anthony, and be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.